Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the last session in this track. And this track name is for the focus on the orchestration and management. And here, this time, I want to share my perspective of how to co-orchestrate from the two new technology in the coming 5G year. That is the slicing and MEC, right? And at the beginning, I start from the use case in our daily life. So the people like to buy the commodity on the internet or in the shop every day. After making the order from the internet, the merchant is considering how to deliver the goods to the customer as quickly as possible or on the suitable time. So the different goods has a different requirement. For example, for some daily necessity or the fresh frozen food need to be delivered to the customer as quickly as possible. So the merchants need to build up a local site or the regional warehouse to store all the goods and dispatch them to the customer as quickly as possible. And especially or particularly for the frozen and fresh food, it can also keep the quality of transferring from the local site to the customer. Use the special truck to the customer and for the delivery. And for other bigger goods, like, for example, furniture, like electric appliances, the merchants need to build up a central warehouse to store all the goods and dispatch them to the different customer according to the ordering information for the location. And it can share all the goods from the side to side. So the different requirement to build up the different warehouse. Mapping to the community network, so we can use the MEC, edge computing, to provide the different service to the different customer. Because the operator built up the network served to the different vertical industry. Each industry has the different requirement. So we can install the different services on the MEC, and then using the slice to separate or split the physical network to the logical network with the different performance. For example, some of the industry need to the video services, some of the industry need to the remote control, so they can install the software on the MEC and using the slicing to get the individual or independent network. So here is the requirement. But from the point of view, the technical point of view, the MEC can provide the different services because it has the edge computing capability. And also it can use the capability exposure layer to expose all the capability to the customer. Then make a connection between the terminal customer to the network. So so we can install all the services on the MEC. And based on these services, we can build up the slice. Slice, that means use the slicing technology to separate the physical network with the different logical network. Each logical network has the different scenarios, different performance. Maybe some of the slice has the mobile bandwidth, or some of slice has the low latency, or MMTC, V2X, or autonomous driving. And then make a connection between the terminal, between the enterprise, and the MEC services. Here, so we should combine the service and MEC together to provide the services to the customer. And here is the technical point of view. But how to implement it? So we should think how to implement it, the slice plus MEC. So firstly, at the beginning, for the operator should consider or understand what the real requirement from the industry. Because the different industry has as I mentioned, different industry has the different services. Some of the industry or enterprise need the big video upload. Then some of the industry has the remote control, so need no latency. And here is firstly, we should think about, what the requirement for it. Then we should think, and there's another requirement whether it's another requirement. The typical requirement for the enterprise right now for the private network, it has the security isolation. they don't want to share the network with other competitor or other vendor, other users, because I buy the network from the operator. So all the network should be used by myself. I don't want to share it with others. So first, isolate not only from the core network, but also from the radio part to the transport network part and the core network part together, even for the services. So independent radio part, transport network part, core network part, and the services. So different domain use the different technology. For example, for the radio part, we can split the spectrum or the RB resource reservation to split the radio part. For the transport network part, we can use the FlexE or VPN technology to split the transport network. And core network part, for each slice, we can allocate the dedicated data center or the independent VNFs to the one slice. So each customer can get the independent resources for the customer. And even for the services, we can allocate the MEC services to the individual customer. So that is the split or isolate all the service from end to end, from the terminal to the radio to the transport to the core network to the services. This is the end-to-end isolation. And also, the key point for the slice plus MEC is combine the slice and MEC together. So here, we can combine the slice identifier and the MEC tenant together and make them together and make the relationship between the slice and MEC together. So we can get the end-to-end isolation. But how to manage them? So for this orchestration, we should build up the orchestration system. All the management nodes are defined in the specification, like 3GPP ETSI. For 3GPP, we defined the NSMF, NSSMF, CSMF, right, to manage all the slice or orchestrate the slice. But at C, we can manage the MEC, use the MEPM or MEAO. So many management nodes. Oh, it's a disaster for the management. So we should converge them together to a unified system. And on the up layer, we should expose all the capability to up layer users, even for the vertical industry. So we should build up a capability exposure layer to expose all the ability for the slice and MEC together to the up layer. Then we should construct a slice store. What is slice store? To buy a slice. I will elaborate it on my following slides. Slice store to provide the services to the customer. And here we can build up the entire management system to make a connection between the operator and the vertical industry together. But how to do it? The capability exposure, that means easy to understand. To expose all the slice capabilities, like slice design, slice creation, slice migration, slice terminal, slice gate space, right? Whatever. And for the MEC, we can store all the services on the MEC and provide some services like location, like TCP optimization, for example, etc. And use the API gateway to provide all the service to up layer. Then we can expose all the capabilities. Then here is the key point. We use the slice store. So on everyone's mobile, we have the app store and the application market on your mobile phone. If you want to install software, you should pick up one software in the app store or application market. Then all the software automatically install on your mobile phone. But in the future, the enterprise can pick up some of the slice template on your slice store, then deploy all the slides on the network automatically. Here is the typical scenario for the automation. But how to implement it? First, the operator should design the slice template. You should consider what the requirement from the vertical industry and design the service template, then store them to the slice store. Oh, the enterprise get a portal from the operator. Then, this template satisfy my requirement because I have I need a broadband bandwidth network or low latency network. So I pick up one template, then click, then deploy on the network. Maybe within 10 minutes or 5 minutes, we completed the network deployment. It's crazy, right? So here is the module for the slice. After we have the slice store, capability exposure, and the slice network with the MEC, we have the entire slice network. Here is the technology. But slice plus MEC is not the technology point of view. That is not only technology, but also the business model. Business model is very important for the slice and MEC. So the typical scenario for the slice and MEC is we should construct a business model from business to business to business. What does it mean? So catching up the industry leader or the solution provider can very easily or deeply understand what the real requirement of the enterprise or the vertical industry, because even for the operator or the vendor, device vendor like ZTE, right? It's not very deeply understand what the requirement from vertical industry like grade, like education, like bank. I don't know what's the real requirement. But if we investigate all the requirement from the enterprise one by one, it will take a long time. So if we catch up the industry leader or the service provider, they can provide a group of the enterprise the requirement. Then to make a relationship between the operator and the service provider and enterprise user. That is the new business model. So the operator can sell all the slices or plus MEC network to the service provider. Then service provider or the solution provider can resell the network to the end manufacturer. That is the new business model, right? And for this business model, we should think how to charge it. Yeah, in traditional way, because we provide the same network to the different user with the same rating group. So, but in the future, the network is different. Different user using the different network. So the enterprise or the user doesn't want to use the same rating group with others. Maybe I care the latency of the network, but another guy's care about the broadband or bandwidth of the network. Another guy's focused on the connection terminals, quantity of it. So for each type of the network, we should define the new charging factors according to the requirement of the enterprise. So the end user or the enterprise is satisfied with this. Oh, we don't want to share the same charging factors or charging width with others, all right? And so here, I want to share experience with our partners and operator. We deploy the project in Guangdong province with China Mobile. Here, the factory is for the manufacturing. It has the different area. But for one enterprise or one manufacturer, not only just one requirement, because in one enterprise or one industry company has the different areas. One area is using the monitoring, a pyramidal camera for the monitoring. It needs the broadband bandwidth for the network. Another area needs to use the remote alarm for the remote control. Another area is the autonomous driving to transfer some goods from one side to another side. So for one company, maybe it has a different requirement. So in this project, we deploy or slice the different, slice the network to the different part and install some software, the software on our MEC site nearby, which is nearby the company, because the company has the requirement. All the data should be inside our enterprise campus. It's for the data security. So here is the typical scenario. Maybe it's the typical scenario for the future enterprise. Right. At last, to make a summary of my presentation. And for the different customer or different industry has the different scenarios. So the customer want to raise up a different requirement for the operator. The operator should build up independent or separated network to provide the different services, not only the network from the radio part to the transport network part to the core network, but also for the services. We should flexibly to help the customer or enterprise install its customized software on our side and manage the services, software services, and the split the network together and make them cooperate together. So we use the co-orchestration system to manage them. And why we do it? Because the operator is served for the vertical industry. So the operator must make this system to help the vertical industry to get better experience from the network, and using this technology to get more benefit in the good new business model. So much for my presentation. Yeah, right. Thank you for listening. Okay, I think I have some time left. Do you have any questions? Sure. Okay.
And we also have microphone runners. Any questions?
Yeah, right.
Well, I have one for you. In terms of the operators you worked with, what's the most complex part of the transition in terms of what they have to engage and some of the thinking? I'm thinking back to Niraj's conversation about getting into that DevOps mindset.
Right.
What do you see as one of the most complicated parts of that transition?
Because the slice is a little complex, right? But to implement it, this technology, it's not only just one word or two words. And because firstly, we think about the technology. For the DevOps architecture to help the software enterprise to make the new release or new software as quickly as possible. But Slice has the typical requirement for the customization. So use the DevOps technology to help the Slice application to get the Slice as quickly as possible. It's I think the assistant system to help the Slice. Then the Slice focus on the service layer. So the Slice and the MEC is focused on the requirement for the customer. Then using the DevOps to generate the software. So they combine them together from the bottom layer and up layer, service layer. So
that does, from an operator perspective, require shifting into that mentality, getting to that DevOps footing, of being able to get to that state.
Right.
Both the technology sides, the service side, as well as that operating mindset.
So we should concentrate on what's the relationship between each side, and then combine them together, right?
Wonderful perspectives. All right, I'll open it for one last call for questions. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate all the
perspectives.
Thank you.